today's Plebs of the Week, we have a very dodgy rolling start at Spa. We have some very dodgy penalties at Interlagos and a very dodgy revenge punt at Fuji in the Gtws. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Plebs of the Week. This is a Gtws special. Now if you do like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, but if you don't like bad driving, dirty driving or mistakes, then you need to turn off now. So first up here we've got Arfie there, who goes to spin off the first Inhuman who has submitted this clip. No idea why in that situation, and then they go through that corner and somebody else spears off there as well. That looked more like a racing incident. There's a bit of this argument going on here between these two. Arfie then going to look down the inside, send it on the first Inhuman, and then gets the position. So not the greatest driving being shown right now by this driver. So we go a bit further on here. This is Expedition Season 1, Round 1, by the way. That was a brake check now on the British driver, which forces them back as we go in towards turn 1. They send it down the inside, and then they're going to get pushed off again. So off here, just driving very badly in dirty driving. Sorry, it's not bad driving, it's dirty driving. This is unacceptable behavior in the Gtws. Now, why am I doing a different special, as we've seen of a brake check here? Why am I doing a special specifically around this? Well, I'll explain that at the end of the video, but if you want to jump there straight away, you can check out the timestamp down below. Barney submitted this one. We're on board Barney right now. We're going to head towards the last corner here at Sardinia Layout A, and they're going to go on the brakes here, and they just get it a little bit wrong. But do you know what they do? The right thing. They let the driver ahead go. Beautiful sportsmanship there in that B-rated lobby. Now, these obviously DR ratings are a bit of a guesstimate at point here. Now, look at the map. We've got someone with a massive head start. So this is a rolling start issue or a start problem that Gran Turismo seems to be suffering a lot with lately. And there's quite a few in this video as well. And we're not even started yet. And you're going to know why, because we're going to go to the game volume. There we go. Starting already at turn 1 there in that lobby. So it already ruins a race there. P1 already gone for it as we jump to the next one. And this is round 2. This is at the Red Bull Ring of the Nations Cup. And if you remember this one, there was wet weather, wasn't there? So we've got the driver coming in here, going onto the dry tyre. Unfortunately, it's a bit wet on pit exit, and they go for a bit of a spin there off the circuit. You have to be so careful when you go on the dry tyre when you come out the pits. But you can see right there, racing soft tyres didn't exactly work on the wet weather part of the circuit. But it's not the only person who's got issues here either. So we go to a different driver. I have no idea how to pronounce that name, but they've just gone on to the medium compound of tyre, which is a bit weird anyway, because softs were available, so they've already got that bit wrong potentially. And they leave the pits, and they nearly spear off there. They managed to bring it on and then go off again. So no grip there whatsoever. They go for a spin. Such a deadly, deadly combo, this one, going onto those dry tyres for the final part of the Red Bull Ring race. It was a good fun race. This one I actually streamed. So we jump to Seb Patty here, who had decided not to change tyres and go on wet till the end. Arguably, it could have been a good decision. I say it could have been a good decision, because going into the penultimate corner here, the rear just lets go. You can see that left rear tyre literally has no tyres left at all at this moment in time. So they went for a spin. They're just trying to get going here again now. Unfortunately, they've lost the lead right there. And somebody just unlocked themselves as they go through here. They are just struggling a little bit. Now, there's contact there with P2, arguably P3, but now P2. That looked more like just a racing incident. Sempati was going slow there. You know, these kind of incidents will happen in that scenario. Oh, look, another failed rolling start. Why we've got this problem so much lately, I don't know. But yeah, this is obviously still round 2, so it's a little while ago. But yeah, everybody's stuck here on the penultimate corner, and the other pack is ready and raring to go. Now they get ready to start here, and you can see there, it looks like the AI was started to go and then stopped again. But as we get ready for the starts, we'll give it a bit of a listen in. You see, not moved at all. Now we start moving. Oh, no, we stopped again. But look at this. Everybody's going to be going all at the same time. So that's going to be a very close start for them. But the Ferrari here, Raven, doesn't get going at all. So yeah, a buggy connection. I don't know. I don't know what's causing this issue. But I just thought I'd highlight it right there for you. Right, we're going to go to round 3 then. So this was the Cappuccinos. I didn't get to do this one. We've got the German up ahead here. So Viking going right then left there to go for the move. The German's not going to like that and go against Viking here. And then the German goes off. So arguably it's a failed attempt at a punt is the way I look at that one. That was a DRB rated lobby there. As we go to round number 4. So this was the X 2019 cars. These love to spin their wheels, as you can see there. Somebody spun round, which causes the crash, but forces another driver around here of Mike. And this has been submitted by Butterscotch, who we'll jump to shortly. So we jump on board damage plan then as we head towards turn number 1. In we go here. We got some side-by-side action with Big Daz then. So we continue on through this corner. A little bit of oversteer there. They try and catch it. I think they do catch it. And then there's a tag there. That's just a racing incident. These things happen. They really do. That's just unfortunate there for damage plan. But Scotch at the end of the race was racing HD Rider here. And as we go to here, it looked initially like it was an issue with HD Rider, but I don't think it was. They were still turning right here. And notice when they see somebody on the right there, they turn on the left, sorry, they turn right a bit more and then look to carry on. So I don't think there was any issues there, really. Now, Zorzil submitted this one, and we're on board Zorzil right now as we head towards the hairpin. This is lap number 2. So goes on the brakes. Looks like they're going to hit the Greek driver, and they do the sportsman-like thing there and avoid them. Now, was it a mistake by the Greek driver? I don't think so. They were just taking the racing line there. I think maybe you brought yourself a little bit. I'm pretty sure you asked me to look at that one. That's an A+ lobby, that one, and it's very hard to get going again when you have dirt on the tyres in that car, as you just saw. Right, next up then, we've got the Manufacturer Series, round number 1, Exhibition Season 1. And as we go into the pits here, looks all fine to me, doesn't it? This is submitted by a drunk driver. I believe you get a 3-second penalty. Now, I really couldn't see much in this, and to prove my point, look at this. It's bang on the line. It must be like a millimetre over the white line. So very unfortunate with that one, in my opinion. A bit too harsh, I would say, with that one. I would have given that a pass. But even so, the game didn't. Right, this is Suzuka at round 1 still here, so I'm getting my bearings there. So we had a car that had crashed there, and the car that was off the circuit. But no, because apparently they're ignoring yellow flags, they get a penalty. That is absolutely brutal. And one reason why I do not like the yellow flag penalty, because if a car is off the circuit, what are you meant to do? Just stop? I don't know. This is been by Mustang then, and Elias up ahead just took a penalty there and goes for the punt on Mustang. Not wanting Mustang to get P number 2. However, Mustang carries on, racing normal here, goes onto the brakes here. The Porsche up ahead gets it all wrong, so a bit of karma here. The desperation absolutely failed, and Mustang's going to get that position. So that's nice to see that. We like seeing stuff like that. Right, next up then, Daytona. Now, this chicane is deadly. So, Bean submits this one, who's just up ahead. Let's go onto the brakes here. The NSX is just going to brake that little bit too late, in my opinion, as we go through here. And the Corvette was just going back on the circuit. That wasn't an attempt at a punt at all there. But the NSX really should give that position back. It's the final lap. In my opinion, they made the mistake. We're on board Bean here, and I could let you brake around this point right here, as you did. And, yeah, they just outbroke themselves a little bit. And I can see what you try to do here. Just come on carefully there. You can see even on the brakes there on the exit. So good attempt at a recovery there, Bean. But yes, the NSX should have given the position back there. I do think that was more of a mistake though. This one is so interesting. Zippy, thank you for submitting this one. So we're going to head towards turn number 1. We're on board the Genesis first of all of Zippy. And Zippy just gets hit all alongside, and it forces them way off the circuit. They're going to come back on the circuit. If they get a penalty, they do indeed. 3-second penalty. So it all looked very odd, that, didn't it? So we got on board the NSX, which was the car that was in the middle then. So as we head towards turn number 1, and they go on the brakes, and there's a slight tap there. Was that because the Lamborghini was on the inside? I don't know, but they got the worst of it here. Did cuts, and they're really off the circuit and losing 3 more positions. So I believe you could go, was the penalty justified? Well, we got on board the Lamborghini then, which was a part of this one. And what I'm going to say here is all just a racing incident. You know, everyone's racing it in towards turn 1. The Lamborghini sees the gap there. It's a small contact, turn into a bigger incident, and that is a DRB rated lobby. That's, as I say, racing incident, that one for me. Nothing crazy. Right, round number 3. This was Spa, wet weather, 30 laps as we go through P1 here then. And we're not on board Log Swapper, but Log Swapper submitted this one in then. So look at this. Attempts to move round the outside. Unfortunately, loses the rear end a little bit and taps out of a Porsche. And they carry on here because they think they've just made the perfect move. And it was arguably a good attempt. However, you were off the circuit. So we got on board the Spanish driver then, who was in this incident. We got the Audi up ahead, who loses the rear end, catches it. Well played to that driver for catching it. What we're going to see here is as they come round, they're just going to clip the nose, and it forces a big old crash there. So, yeah, the hero, not quite a hero anymore. Not zero, though, because it was a good attempt. I like attempts, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off there because it did cause a crash. Right, we've got Kenneth here then. Got into here, taps the rear end of Log Swapper, forcing him out wide, and that is a push to pass. Literally the perfect demo of it. They're not allowed. You need to give that position back. We go on board Kenneth then as we go into P1 once again. I think this was a lap later. I didn't quite take note of the laps. Go through here then. A slight tap on the Porsche driver. This time it was not a full push to pass. Oh, the push driver was not happy and spins the finish driver around. And I can see why they did that, to be honest with you. Especially after the earlier push to pass as well. You just need to back out a little bit. Don't hit the rear end of the car. Get on the inside. Overtake better, and you'll have a fun race. So here we go. Another dodgy rolling start. And this time we haven't even started yet. The AI has gone nuts. Look at this. As we continue on. I think the TV camera was on at this point as well for some of the drivers. So they couldn't actually see on Earth where they were going. And you can see this absolute carnage right now. Look at it. Everybody is absolutely everywhere. We've got a reset here. There's cars in the wall. Another reset. Yeah, absolute carnage. No idea what is going on in the slightest here. I wish I was actually involved in this one, racing on TV camera, because I've done that before when I was about 8 on Formula 196 at Adelaide. Yeah, I learned that myself. Hold select and press square, and then off you went. Yeah, I still remember how to do it even now. That's the RC rated lobby. So, round number 4 in Exhibition Season 1. UK Fox submitted this one. And we've got a yellow flag. Oh, look. So, that car's just reappeared out of nowhere, which is fine. You overtake that. You carry on, don't you? Because that was the car that was off the circuit. You were in last place. You couldn't have overtaken anybody else other than the crash car, and you get a 3-second penalty. Nuts. That penalty needs removing quick as anything. It's atrocious. Right, Smithy submitted this one, and we're not on board Smithy at the moment. Smithy is behind them. But this driver here was interesting because they're using the braking assist. I've never seen it before. So, for me, it felt like they were very heavily reliant on that braking assist, which did sort of bring me into question for myself. Like, what does it actually do? And it does do the braking for you, doesn't it? So, they're flat on the throttle here, and then the brakes go on the second that braking assist kicked in. So, that is going to cause issues in races. So should driving aids be, well, banned from these races? Or just real ones like Traction Control 1 be allowed, ABS be allowed, and nothing else? Let me know in the comments with that discussion. So we're on board Spinzy now. This is some good racing. I'm showing this at this point because it's a part of the same clip, so why not? So Spinzy's just got down the inside here of the Hungarian driver. The Hungarian driver's going to go off the cutback there. Beautiful defensive driving here from Rico then as we continue up here. Now, Spitzy's looking along the inside again. Stops at the apex. Beautiful attempt. Hungarian gives some room on that inside as well. So, beautiful driving from both of these as we go into the complex section here at Interlagos. Really well played with that racing, Spitzy. But that's not all. Spitzy decides to send it on lap number 10. So, it goes into here. Now, you can send it if you make the apex. And that, to me, is making it perfectly. And a shout out to Colo as well, because Colo saw it come in. They've given each other space as they continue on. Beautiful racing there in a D-rated lobby. Really, really well played that. You don't normally see some of those moves in that kind of lobby. So, honestly, really well played. Right, Kemp has submitted this one. This was the extreme slipstream of the century in Nations Cup Exhibition Season 2, round number 1, which is at the top that you can see right there. As we go through here, we've got side-by-side action up ahead. They're both going to go into the wall there, which unfortunately forces them into Kemp, which causes a crash. And there's also a spin behind. However, Kemp is about to get a 5-second penalty for that one, which to me is extremely harsh. Now, Treviso here was behind the pack and making sure they stayed out of the way. And you see the clash there. Unfortunately, because Kemp then took a avoidance action of the crash, caused another crash. And Treviso, even though they were staying out the way, is also going to get a 5-second penalty. That is very brutal, in my opinion. However, I wanted to see whether Treviso did the little trick you could do, which is going to the pits at Trail Mountain because the pit lane. Oh, sorry, the penalty line is on the start-finish straight. You can go in the pits, and arguably, this penalty is not going to cost Treviso as much if it had carried on with the race there. So it's a little trick that you can do if the penalty line is on the start-finish line where the pits are. We go to round number 2 then at Watkins Glen in the Nations Cup. We start accelerating. Unfortunately, had a couple of jump starts there, so Magic is going to go backward because they had nowhere to go. No ghost in there, and it just allowed them to carry on as normal, and they lost out, did Magic, because the penalty person was the car in front. Bit of contact there in the first turn. It's one of those, isn't it? Grid start, Watkins Glen, there's always going to be a little bit of contact in towards turn number 1. Right, we're on board a French driver here of Bobby, and we got Mr. Smoke Too Much up ahead. Yeah, you don't want to do that one then. So we're going to go towards the left-hand side. They send it down here, and they get it completely wrong. Now, was that a takeout? I couldn't see a reason why, but it did look very suspicious, I will say that much. And they've lost a lot of places, has the French driver as well. So we go towards the end of the same race here. So the fight for the lead is on. And as we head up towards this corner, they go towards the right there. There's a bit of movement from the French driver as well under the braking, reactionary braking. Don't do that. 50-50 with that one. Now, the TCR driver here wanted to give my opinion on their incident. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to analyze this properly then. So we continue on through here. They're going to go towards the left. We have reactionary defensive driving there, which I don't like, and I do not find clean in the slightest. However, we go through this left-hander, and what they're going to do now is they're going to send it here on the inside. This is a corner you can send it, really. So there's a tap on the Supra, and the Supra's going to go for a spin and crash there. Was that your fault? Initially, when I look at it this way, yes, it is. But what we'll do, we'll look at it from the Supra's perspective as well. So you can see there some reactionary defending, but they go back to that racing line then as we go into the left-hander. As we continue towards the final corner, again, this isn't an overtaking spot here. So that tap is definitely on you in that scenario. They keep the foot flat to the floor, though, and I don't know why you would do that. So is it your fault? I would argue, yes, the last corner is. They did a bit of dodgy defending earlier on, but yeah, that is more on you, in my opinion. Right, we're on board Alessandro, what's known as GSP Hamburger. So as we go into here then, we're going to see somebody go down the inside there, absolutely send it, which is a very common move to do at the chicane at Fuji. Now, Alessandro tries to recover that by going across the grass, and it's a big old reset, which means it costs them a lot of positions. However, I do think this is very unfortunate, rather than a very dirty driving in any way. I think it's just a fact that they've gone for the move here. Good opportunity, lap number 1, to go for this move, and that's what they're going to do down the inside. So they lifted off the brakes there, just a little bit too deep, nothing insane, but unfortunately it did cause a reset, so I would argue you have to give that position back. Later on in the race then, Alessandro's catching Bill Gtws overhead. So Bill goes towards the middle, Alessandro goes towards the right, and then Bill goes towards the right. So that, in my opinion, is a double move, which is not really allowed. There's a slight tap into turn 1 here by Alessandro. I think you should give the position back at this point as we continue on out. Yes, it was a double move, but 2 wrongs do not make a right. 3 wrongs don't make a right either, Bill. So Bill then tries to punt Alessandro and goes off the circuit. Now, in my opinion, if it's GTWS, that should be an immediate ban. And once again, I am talking about this a little bit later on in the video. Actually, at the end of the video. Yeah, I'll go into more details with that. So Zorzil sent this one in. So we're going to head towards turn number 1 here, the race at Fuji. And we've got Marcus here, who completely misses their braking zone. Avoids everybody, looking ahead to make sure they don't hit anybody as well. Really good stuff to see there. Saeed here then, the Ferrari, who's also in that incident, is going to go on the brakes. Sees they're going to hit somebody and goes towards the left side. That is beautiful sportsmanship there from Saeed. Big shout out to you. A+ lobby, A+ sportsmanship there on your screens right now. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. What isn't beautiful is what OG Brit submitted then. So we're on board a Russian driver who has no name other than Dash. We'll call him Dash. We're going to head in towards the, the dock section here. And they just absolutely send it on everybody. A bit of netcode in there as well, but there's no need for this. So hopefully they get a penalty. They do indeed, 4 seconds. But it should be a lot more with how many cars were involved. Now they're going to go on a punting spree. They're braking. They're forcing the issue here now. And they're going to drive very dirty. Gtws, remember, this is the premier competition for Gran Turismo, and we're seeing this kind of driving. Now, you don't go 60 miles an hour on this corner in a Group 3 car. It's a lot of nonsense. You can see here, they're purposely putting people into the barriers. It's a DRB-rated lobby, but yeah, that driver, not acceptable in the slightest, in my opinion. Now, Otto submitted this one. Then we're on board Pablo as we head towards the sharp right-hander here at the Tokyo circuit. So we're going to go on the brakes and hard on the brakes, and they tap strike into the barrier. So this is a push to pass, very much so, arguably using them as a brake more than anything. 2-second penalty. You do need to get that position back as well, in my opinion, as that is a bit too extreme. Now, you can look at the first one and go, yeah, it was a mistake, okay? You can argue that. But we go into the same corner again. You do the exact same thing. So the mistake arguably becoming something you're doing on purpose now, and that would be very dirty driving indeed. So you get another penalty there. Good is the answer to that. So we got on board Otto. So as we go through this right-hander, we're going to see the BMW absolutely slam on the anchors well before the braking zone and force Otto into a spin. No idea why they did this, but unfortunately Otto as well is going to get a 3-second penalty for something that wasn't their fault. Again, disappointed to see a penalty applied here in this scenario. So, Pablo was not happy with Otto. I have no idea why. I couldn't see a reason for this either. So, as we head in towards the first corner, they're just going to send it and force themselves into the back of them. We continue on here. So, we've got a 2-second penalty now. We're going to head towards the hangar section, the dockyard section here. And obviously, they're going to send it right into the back of them, which I always say, don't do that, please. You can injure people. And they should hopefully get another penalty here. Do they? Yes, they do. Another 4 seconds. Happy days. But why they did this, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea at all. So this is round number 3, Manufacturers Series Exhibition Season 2. And E-Pound submitted this one. Who's up ahead, actually? Wu-Tang Racer Clan. So this Audi then looking down here, and unfortunately it's just going to miss their braking point by a tiny margin. You know, arguably it could be their right braking point, but they just tap the Canadian driver there. They should get that position back, really, but it was definitely a mistake because they didn't absolutely wipe them out the hairpin, which is why I showed that hairpin part. Lycan up ahead submitted this one then as we go into the complex section here at Autopolis. Let's go through this left-hander. There's a small tap there on the Lamborghini. See there, they hit the brakes again here, so that to me is a racing incident. However, as I always say, if you do or are involved in an incident, wait up for that driver because you were the car behind, in my opinion. Now, Lycan also mentioned this part as well. So Lycan, unfortunately, is going to miss their braking point here. Absolutely send it into the Supra, and then they're going to look to wait up. They also get a penalty as well. So they're going to carry on a little bit, get going, but they do wait up for the other drivers. And Lycan does go further back on the grid. So why did I want to do a separate GTWS special video? Well, first up, you're probably going to Tidge, where are Stars of the Week? Unfortunately, I'm not going to do Stars of the Week this time. I might do a separate video on those because we do have some submissions from the GTWS. But I really wanted to focus on the penalties here because, in my opinion, and you may have a different opinion, and please let me know in the comments, GTWS, the World Series that Gran Turismo advertise, they obviously focus on sportsmanship. There are penalties applied in the live events. There should be penalties applied in these championships. If anything, if they're going to do anything, they need to focus on improving the driving standards in the GTWS. So at least we have somewhere to experience fully clean racing. Now, this would mean, and I want them to go down this route, if you purposely revenge punt, you get banned from the GTWS for a little while, or from sport mode in general. I think that should happen, you know, like we saw Gtws there go for a revenge punt because of an incident. That should be a bannable offence. Now, if mistakes do happen, maybe apply a time penalty, or maybe just issue warnings out there that it's being monitored going forward. I can understand that. But purposeful ramming needs to stop. I don't care whether it's a revenge punt or not. Penalties need to be applied, and they need to be applied in GTWS, in my opinion, just to start the ball rolling, because at least if you are, you know, penalising in that, maybe it'll help clean up other areas where dirty driving is having an action. That's why I wanted to separate this one, because we saw a large variation of that. We also saw some bugs that needs fixing, and the yellow flag penalty. Oh my word. There's some awful ones there. The one at Interlagos, literally 16th, overtook the car that crashed, given a penalty. Yeah, sure. Okay, well played, Gran Turismo. Get rid of the stupid yellow flag penalty. It's the only game I know that has that penalty in the first place. It's mental. It really is mental. But anyway, yes, let's go back to the penalty situation. I do feel they need to start penalising driving standards in GTWS at least. And that's why I did that one there. We saw some mistakes. We saw some purposeful punts, a mixture of all sorts in there. Definitely some drivers need some penalties in that situation and banning for a certain period of time. I'm rambling on now, so I'm going to stop rambling on. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But I am going to disappear. If you have enjoyed it, I'd say like it. There are 2 more videos there to check out, including a previous Plebs of the Week. Thank you as always for the support, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.